What's up, visionaries? Welcome back to another video. And if you're here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I'm pushing hard towards 100K subs and I need every one of you locked in with me on this journey. Today, we're diving deep into something most people miss entirely. Too many people do not understand the concept of what I mean when I say we are moving away from the binary world. You can already see it, how the destruction of bipartisan politics is causing division and animosity socially. This is the beginning of the destruction of the concept of either this or that. It's going to be an as well theory. Now, I'm using this as an example because what I want you guys, my visionaries, to understand is that a lot of people struggle in a world where you're not trying to live your best life. You're trying to live your life while controlling other people's narratives as well. And this is where most of the animosity and struggle comes from. I live by a philosophy. What you eat doesn't make me shit. And the reason I say this, let's use an example I like to use all the time. If you're somebody who likes to go to the beach, but you only enjoy the beach if you also have that beer, it's also possible for me to enjoy that experience even with you without having a beer myself. See, I haven't drank in over 8 years. I've been sober. And it's something I realized a lot of my friends would always tell me, hey man, I got you some non-alcoholic beers, right? And I used to joke and say, hey, I don't drink that shit because how it tastes, I wanted what I got from it. Now, although that's funny to say, what I want you guys to understand about that concept, I didn't want to shrink them and their situation. I was like, listen, you're not the one who can control alcohol. I am. And the reason I'm sharing this story is because I don't want someone to relate to me in a way that needs congratulations. I don't need someone to congratulate me on being sober and turning my life around and all of that other crap. I don't need it because I did it for myself. I didn't do it for the validation of other people, and this is something I want people, especially the visionaries who follow me, subscribe, to start thinking about for yourself more. Like the most selfish thing you can do is try not to be selfless, because if you're not focusing on yourself, you're going to require someone else to do it for you, and that in itself is the most selfish thing you can do. Now, there's going to be a ton of people that call themselves empaths and things like that who will find this a bit controversial. But that part I want you guys to start understanding is you have to start doing things because you want to do them. See, when it comes to political beliefs and things like that, I don't need people to align with me. Everybody sees, I believe, that many people like the idea of the village because they think it exonerates them from having to put in the max effort, and I know it's controversial to say that, and a lot of people will have their own views about it, but I really believe a lot of people just like the idea that it takes a village because they want to minimize the contributions that they have to make. See, they're quick to outsource things, and this is why I keep talking about it's time for us to do for self. You have to start understanding that where we are headed, we've lost the plot somewhere on what it took to survive. All right. Everyone's always clamoring about how everyone deserves a home, when there was actually a time, like if you ever seen Survivor Alone, or you see those people get stuck somewhere and they have to survive. Some are good at building shelters, others can't hunt. I always find that fascinating. Like, what's funny? You could be good at something, and that's where the village comes in. You do something that someone else wants. And I know it's a controversial take, but to bring it back home, what I was talking about, in the binary world where things have to be either this or that, it's the same thing in crypto. If people think Bitcoin is going to be the reserve currency or going to replace the dollar, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, and that kind of thinking limits your frameworks. You're either focusing on one or two things when there's more you actually need to focus on. And that's what I want you to realize. Someone who doesn't really care about someone's sexual orientation like me, whether you're LGBTQ or the plus. I don't even care if the world has to accommodate someone else's emotions, as long as it's not forcing into my beliefs. See, everyone always likes to tell me that, well, they're forcing things on you. And I always like to ask people, is like, how does anybody force something onto you without physical, like, contact? And a lot of people struggle with that because it's hard to answer because you go straight into the mental concepts, right? And then that's something that just makes you get further from the plot. So what I want you to start understanding, visionaries, if you don't want to invest in cryptocurrency, you don't have to. If you want to invest in stocks, you can. If you want to invest in stocks and crypto, you also can. But if you want to invest in real estate, you can do that too. And this is what I want you guys to start thinking about: understanding and grasping the concept. Do you want to do something for yourself, or are you doing it because you're trying to fit in someone else's narrative? Or are you doing something because you wish to control someone else's narrative? See, this is things that people do not think about all the time, is that, what is it that you're trying to do? What is your goals? What are the things that you want? What's good for your family, right? Instead of seeking for the world to validate you, why don't you start validating yourself on your own times and start doing things that you believe is best for you and not anybody else? See, the more and more time that you spend doing things that trying to appease other people is the further you get away from yourself. So now, I want to close with this thought. I want to give you something actionable to do. And I want you to actually think about, what about the political realm right now directly affects you? And when I say directly affects you, not a belief, not a framework. What about it right now is affecting you? Not what someone else is doing. And I know you're going to see, if this gets any traction in the comments, someone else is going to say something that is geared around someone else's perspective. But what about the people who don't? No, 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 no. What about you? Because if you are a person who actually truly wanted to change someone else's life, you would have to be someone who would put yourself in the position to be able to change that person's life. Isn't that what you want to do if you truly care? I know I care about my family. So when I have to do stuff that was hard, I would do it just out of the unconditional love for my family. And then, hold on, it's almost, thought I had it on Do Not Disturb, but I did not. So the more and more you start realizing that you're doing things for someone else, the more and more you're going to realize that the reason why you feel like you don't have any time is because you are someone who is spending most of your time trying to save the world like you're Captain America. But realistically, it'd be easier if you saved your own, because then you'd have more time to focus on other people. So guys, if you like this type of content, if you have any thoughts that you would like to say or anything like that, just leave a thoughtful comment. Doesn't even have to be thoughtful. Just engage. Let's have a conversation. And hope to see you guys in my next video. Hit that subscribe button. Help me get to 100K.